Live. The guy that's supposed to be running the stream, and I'm completely flubbing that. But howdy ho, and welcome to the December stream of Tactical Shuffle. Just barely. Yeah. As I sit my holiday festive. I didn't even realize that I had a Christmas mug in my hand. Oh, and for some reason, a squirrel with a candy cane. He's probably trying to find his nuts. Oh, well, lots of things. First, let's say hey to the chat. Andy Eaker. Hey yo, welcome to the stream. Oh, but yeah, so first thing we would like to see and like to talk about, if I can figure out which scene I'm on. See, this is why I'm saying I need like another 2 monitors going on here. So, first thing is first, rare battles are now a thing in a go. Yeah, I've been a little lazy with my Union Arena game plans as of late. But I am at least like I'm looking forward to I'm looking forward to the Hunter one this weekend definitely. Um you said you were going to play Purple Hunter this weekend. I'm probably going to be on some version of green, whichever version doesn't have the. Well, I guess they're not super expensive anymore, but I have been spending my severance package very poorly as of late. Um, Trying to be one of those really gross and disgusting Pokemon scalpers. I can't talk. Well, someone's got to do it, right? Like if I don't buy the singles to resell to other people, then you're just going to have to buy packs and probably waste way more money. That's how I justify my disgusting behavior. I mean, oh yeah. Um, I haven't even looked at the price on TCG Player at what he is. Oh, I'm like there. I surprisingly, surprisingly, he has gone up since before. What was it in JJ or when JJK came out? He hit an all-time low of like $9, and I should have picked him up. Yeah, yeah. He he was hitting lows. He was really hitting lows. Can't hear Cody. Should be able to hear you. I've got audio going. Hang on a minute. Say something there, man. I don't hear you. What is going on? Oh, something that. See, let's try. Let's try that. Still nothing. What is going on? Goals.
I was doing sign language earlier, but Matt can't understand. Matt can't understand sign language. There we go.
That worked.
Heck yeah.
Okay. I've got to remember that I have to like sometimes when I do these verticals, because of the way that the plugin works, I have to have the actual scene active over in the, well, I guess I can just show it. Tech Talk with Ronan. So yeah. So this is the horizontal and this is the vertical. So wherever I have the Discord audio and I'm pulling it from, I have to have it act. Sometimes I have to have it active. Sometimes I don't. I don't know why. I don't. It's just it's weird sometimes. But like if I was to probably go to a different scene because my mic is active in all scenes because I actively use my mic in most of my content. It just automatically picks up, but because I have to pick up your audio through Discord, and the Discord scene is, I think, only on one of these scenes. Yeah, it does weird things. But anyways, tech problems fixed.
Is what it is. Yeah, so start over, I guess. So we're talking about rare battles, right?
Rare battles.
Yeah, I've got two this weekend. I'm running purple for both of them. And it's Hunter x Hunter. And then next weekend or next week's JJK, I'm gonna be running yellow there, and then hopefully I can have enough for EOS to run it in early January.
So yeah, again, just rare battles for me at Hunter x Hunter. Like the Gon is like, not to go Hisoka here, but the Gon is very attractive to me.
Gross.
Like I mean, I love I love the color palettes on these.
Oh yeah, no, they're easily the best promos they put out so far. I even like it better than like the secret rares that are in packs sometimes.
Yeah. Now the only two that I'm not like just enjoying is the JJK and the Bleach, because they are just, the palette just looks so similar. Although
I can see that.
I would like to get this Yuji, because that's that raid Yuji.
Yeah.
That you use in the deck.
Yeah, you need him just to finish out your deck, and he's still expensive, by the way. He's what, like $20 right now?
Ugh, gross, so gross. I'm not. I'm not for like dropping a ton in this game. So I've told you, and I haven't said anything on here other than the short where I said, "Oh, I'm out of a job, so I'm gonna start selling Pokemon cards," because that seems like a perfectly logical thing to do when you lose a job.
Yeah.
Yeah, super intelligent thing to do. Yeah. But I realize that I'm not out of love with this game, but it got like, after the initial wave of it and going really heavy on Hunter x Hunter, it's like, okay, so what's the next set that I want to put money into? And I only slightly wanted to put money into JJK.
Yeah.
And then Lelouch or Code Geass, not so much. And I like, granted, this is kind of goes back to that Magic thing where every set's not for, a single person, and it's not going to be, and that's okay, because
that's kind of the way this game's made, right? Like,
right,
they want you to target the stuff that you like, and if there's some sets that you don't really care for, that it's fine sitting out.
Yeah,
it's just unfortunate you don't really care for Lelouch, because that's some of the best decks that are going to be around for a good while.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, like some of the single cards look really interesting, but
yeah.
It's like, do I want to go deep enough to get that set? And I don't know. I really don't know.
Here's the thing. I hear you on that, because I'm kind of the exact opposite. I really wasn't interested in the first two sets. Like Bleach, I've gone past Bleach. I don't really care for involving myself in that IP too much. Hunter x Hunter, I wasn't familiar with it. I've been watching it since I think I'm in the Chimera arc at this point, and I enjoy it, but I wasn't really feeling the set itself. I was looking forward to JJK and Code Geass, because those are two of my favorite IPs out there. Thankfully, they also come with strong decks and interesting decks and all the colors, so that's a plus for me. But we'll see what happens with sets going on. I mean, we can hold the meat of this up for later in the stream, because we plan on going over a little bit. But I'm not super interested in Demon Slayer myself. My daughter is, so I'm going to be buying some packs of it. But that's for her. And then I think the next set I might be interested in is Sword Art.
SAO looks like a good set.
Yeah, I'm not interested in One Punch Man. Not at all. It looks cool. I'm good though. It's one of the situations a lot like Hunter first set. It looks cool, but I'm not really going to dive too deep into it. I think that's one of the sets you wanted to get a good bit of, though, isn't it?
Which one was that?
One Punch Man.
One Punch Man. do you just want to go into like what sets are next and then come back to rare battles?
Yeah, let's do that. We'll go with that. That's a good flow.
Gotcha.
So yeah, we've got Demon Slayer coming up soon, January 24th.
Now I do like which Andy says just finished season 6. Are we talking about Hunter x Hunter or which
talking about Hunter x Hunter.
6?
Yeah, Hunter x Hunter. Because he was talking about watching Chimera arc.
Oh, okay.
He's further in it than I am.
Yeah, Hunter x Hunter's freaking excellent top tier god anime. Anyways, so yeah, Demon Slayer we have next. I'll be honest,
That's
this is
kind of
another
good timing too, though, isn't it? Because isn't a movie coming out fairly soon after that?
They should be starting into the Infinity Castle. It's not a winter anime, I don't think. I think that's coming either in spring or summer.
Yeah.
Traditionally, I think that's when Demon Slayer comes out, is kind of middle of the year. Because for some reason they have just dubbed it a summertime anime. But still, I mean, Demon Slayer is a huge IP, and
the cards
couldn't.
Pretty nice too. Have you seen them?
Oh yeah. I've seen like that. That's what I was about to say. Is that some of these cards in this set, which unfortunately I don't think they have any previews for it just yet. Guess I could see
we'd
if
have
the
to go back
gallery's
to
got anything. Probably have to go to EX Burst to see if they got anything. But they've got a lot. Like, if I was to get anything from this set, it would be to just get some of the cards because I like the special art on them. Other than Mugen, I'm not too excited for anything to really be played in Demon Slayer. Like, none of it really is jumping out at me as a
the purple demon set. Demon deck does look interesting because it's a lot like JJK's purple, in that like you're sacrificing some stuff to get some really big payoffs. But I feel like the payoffs are better in Demon Slayer than what they are in JJK.
Yeah.
But that yellow set or yellow deck with Tanjiro and what was his little sister's name? Nezuko.
Nezuko.
Yeah, that one looks kind of like sneaky. It's better. I think it's better than yellow JJK by quite a bit. And yellow JJK can sneak up on people really, really well with the like 5 and 6 attacks a turn sometimes.
Yeah. I like I don't know.
Don't die on me.
I'm trying not to. But yeah, I don't know if the decks have a lot of legs though, outside of maybe the rare battles, or just within its own confined set, because I just don't see I don't see any of it being overly powerful. Like when you have a set like JJK with Sukuna's fingers, and then you have the like 2 colors in Code Geass that are kind of really heavily played right now.
Well, it's 2, and then they had to completely skip a card in red for red not to be better than both of those colors. And red's still pretty good. It's kind of wild. Like, it shouldn't be as good as it still is. Because you throw down Suzaku Kururugis and slap people with Shirley, and they're kind of having a bad day. Because again, it's another thing where you get 6 attacks a turn sometimes if you do it right.
Right.
So I looked up a tier list, and as far as Demon Slayer goes, there is a yellow and a purple Demon Slayer deck that's tier 2. So, but I think a good bit of a portion of the power does come from a later set of it.
Now, question: Do you think Demon Slayer? Do you think Demon Slayer shines Bleach and Hunter x Hunter as the I don't want to call them low tier decks, but uh, fun decks to play around with. Where like I said, I don't think it overtakes the Jujutsu Kaisen deck or the Code decks.
Yeah,
But
as far as power goes.
I think it does become like you play this to play something different to still kind of be in that competitive range with these two.
Yeah.
Whereas you're not playing these two to be in the competitive range with these two.
So there's a little bit of merit to that, I think. But keep in mind, Purple Bleach with additions from set 2 is going to get back up to being like a tier 1.5 deck, or like at least a tier 2 deck. And it doesn't exactly rival the Purple Geass or Blue JJK, but it still does pretty good on its own. I mean, you've got what 4 or 5 different cards in Purple Bleach that are removable. So anytime you have a lot of removal, you've got a good deck.
Yeah.
But as far as Demon Slayer goes, I think each set seems like it's got some fun decks in it, right? Like some off the wall. Johnny shows up at a card shop, has this wild built thing, and next thing you know, you're getting hit by 6 dogs a turn, and 2 of them have damage too. So your night ends fast like that. Hey, not speaking from experience about a week ago, but yeah. So sometimes there's decks like that in every set. I think Yellow Demon Slayer is a little bit better than that though. And then I don't know, nor have I seen enough about the Muzan Purple Demon Slayer to know if it's got chops similar to Purple Bleach, Purple Code Geass, or anything like that. But it does look powerful just by looking at it. And I'm going to have to do some more deep dive because, I mean, that's the next set coming out. So, and we've got a little over a month to go. So I'll try to do some card evaluations for. Speaking of, shameless plug to our social medias.
Shameless plugs.
We have TikTok, we have Instagram, and of course we have YouTube Shorts. So anytime anybody wants to check out some of our short form stuff, there's several places to find that. And please like, subscribe on all of them. It helps us out to get out to more people and let people know how terrible we are at playing card games, but still play them anyways.
And if I was better prepared, I'd have a nice little graphic come across the screen that you could find. I said all of our wonderful little places on the internet.
YOLO stream. YOLO
to the stream. But yeah, no, like yeah, I'm just wondering, like, your evaluation of Demon, like you said, you got to get into it a little bit more. Like, I know me and you both have experienced throughout our many years of playing card games. It's one thing to go with like a deck you know is not top tier, and do just enough not to, like, you want the deck to perform. Whether it's a win or a loss, like, to me, I've never felt bad about a loss as long as the deck performed in the way that I wanted it to perform, meaning that I got my draws, I got to play things, but, there's just an overpowered deck, and I understand that.
So I've got a few different kind of takes on that. First off, you get more out of losing a game than you do winning a game, right? Because you can see more things going on, what went wrong, what led to your loss, as long as you're a little bit introspective. There's a few versions of players when it comes to games in general. There's your Johnny that wants an individualistic spin on something that's kind of expresses himself. There's a Timmy that just wants to do some strong stuff that is, again, he's trying to show himself. And then there's Spike, who's just wanting to play the best and show that they're the best. I don't really fall into being a Johnny because I'm not really looking to do wild combo decks or just weird things. I personally kind of shoot for meta breakers. I don't really usually play meta because I know that even though I have a Spike mentality, I'm not going to get enough playtime with those best decks to win the mirror match 100% of the time, because I just don't have the time to do it. So instead, I take a look at the best decks, try to figure out where their weakness is, and exploit that with something else, right? I'm not so much doing my own combo thing. Like, my affinity for purple Hunter x Hunter is not because I want to do something that's different. It's because I see a weakness in a few of the decks in the set, in the meta, and I can pull off and really frustrate some people playing purple bleach and and green Hunter x Hunter. It's just like, why is this Hisoka just pulling all my guys up to the front and they're getting run over? Like, what's going on? But that's the point that I try to take with it. And as far as and to do that, you kind of have to have a different approach to the to each match. And circling back to the sets that we're talking about, I think Demon Slayer Yellow at least has that, because so many of their important guys flip up onto the front and then jump back to the back line, so much to just kind of mess with what the opponent can do. Like, your removal is not good against Yellow Demon Slayer, from what I can tell. Like, you've got to figure out ways to block, and that's kind of why the double blockers in Yellow JJK are so good in later sets out in Japan, because you can block all of those lower powered Demon Slayer guys, but still, if you're not set up for it, you're losing that match pretty hard if you're not getting ahead of them.
I think that pretty much answers that. It's yeah.
Sorry, I went on a good bit of tangent, but like,
oh no, you're good.
It applies well. And
yeah,
as far as One Punch Man, I've looked at One Punch Man. It's your Timmy set. Like, play big guy. He's got 10,000 BP. You can only attack with him every other turn, but you don't have an answer for it either. You've got to figure out a way to win the game before he attacks too many times.
Yeah, because right now, like, any kill spell is like, oh, deal like 5,000 and below. Well, he's 10.
He also just doesn't die to opponent spells. Like, there are a few of the Saitama cards, they just don't die to other spells, no matter what their BP is.
Like, okay, so this is a unique set, right? Because I found out, like, from last stream and this stream, that this is a universally released set, meaning that Japan don't have this yet.
Yeah.
So this is coming out for us and Japan, like, same day. I think
that's kind of exciting.
Hey, dude, like, you're telling me, because like, where all these other sets have kind of already been over there, and it's like, oh well, the meta is somewhat established with them.
Yeah,
we all get to experience this meta. So I'm like, I was on the fence about getting it, because it's like, do I like One Punch Man? Yeah, it's fun. Season 2 burned me, but I could, like, Saitama's still funny, and if they have a card with Saitama punching freaking supersonic ninja guy in the nuts, yeah, I'm in. One Punch Man was just it was a fun anime.
That's one of the things I like about this card game too, is like, sometimes you can just have fun animes. Like, I am so excited for Blue Lock to come out. It looks like a cool set too. Like, what are you doing throwing a bunch, like, half your deck under the cards that are on the field in surprise? Let's do some stuff with them. Like, this is another side tangent about the Blue Lock set. Like, so many of the cards have like 5 different abilities, and depending on how many times you dribble the ball between the characters, you get to do all kinds of wild stuff. So yeah, it looks like a really fun set. I'm probably not like, I'm go way too deep on that one.
I mean, we really could. I mean, it's exciting to see something too, because whereas like I mean, look at all the sets that are announced. All
Yeah.
they have some kind of fighting, or they look like they belong in like in some kind of battle shonen.
Yeah.
Blue Lock is overall a sports anime, so you're gonna have guys kicking balls with like doing fights with like Demon Slayer and Lelouch and Saitama.
Yeah, I just want to have Bato kick one of them in the face, like, and you get wrecked because of it. What's up?
Yes, Andy, you did see Full Metal.
Yes, yeah. It's the release date's not been announced, but it's also one that's it's probably going to be a simultaneous release as well because there's no Full Metal at the Japan, so that's pretty cool.
You know, we got to this point to where we're you know, everything's new for us in the English release, but we're also getting simultaneous releases for certain sets. Like we're not having to wait. I mean, One Punch Man's going to be the newest set. We're both getting it. We don't have to wait a year to see this.
Yeah. We don't have to watch the meta get pre-evolved. But that's something I'm excited about with the meta over here. Is it is distinctly different than what it was in Japan. Yeah, you still have the strong decks rising to the top. Like Blue JJK did just effectively take over for the 2 weeks that it was.
Oh my god! Don't remind me that 2 weeks worth of like, oh, JJK. Oh, 2 weeks later. Oh, Code.
Yeah,
dude, that's. I feel this was terrible planning on their part.
Yeah, I think they were just trying to get it up before Christmas, though. I mean, that makes enough sense.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I would say, oh, well, then you'd have 4 sets to buy the little kiddies for Christmas, or the big kids.
It's not so much that I think they got them too close together. It's that I wish JJK was earlier in November than the 22nd.
Yeah,
because the 22nd is really rough to be when the other two were early October.
Well, it's been out since October, beginning of October. You had 2 sets come out then, 1 set come out the next month, and then a set come out 2 weeks, like not even a month later. That's a lot. And meta wise, I think it makes for an interesting meta because that gives you more variety in this type of game, in this type of meta is just needed because that, like, I'll tell you, the release from Bleach and Hunter x Hunter to JJK, I got so, like, it was fun to figure out.
It went on too long, but you end up getting tired of watching, like playing up against Purple Bleach all the time.
Yeah,
and even though we ended up having good matchups against it based on the way we built it, like it's still.
It's like I am just, dude, try something else, please.
Yeah,
please do something else.
They're not incentivized. Nobody was incentivized for it because effectively the people that would come off of it were waiting on JJK or Code Geass.
Yep, and I almost feel like I haven't seen the numbers for JJK yet, but I also feel that JJK suffered because it was like, well, everyone, like, because of the way the meta is, or the way that the Japanese meta is you could already see what Code was going to do. So it's like, well, other than buying JJK because you either like the show or you just kind of want it, Code was going to kind of take over. So why spend your money on this when in 2 weeks you can just get this? Like, there was some suffering in between the releases of these. I mean, yeah,
there is something to be said that Blue JJK does hold up well against both purple and green Code Geass. I think it has a worse matchup against green than it does purple, but still, but blue is really the only color that does right now. I mean, yellow has its strong moments. I'm playing yellow. I would kind of know on that one. Yellow has its strong moments, but it gets its power is coming from the next set. Like you need those Gojos and Ghettos to help bring the power up of yellow. So really, blue JJK is the only thing that's holding up against Code Geass right now. And at that point, you're looking at buying a whole set, a whole like booster of JJK just to get one color if you're trying to play for power.
Yeah. And unfortunately, this is because of the way that Bandai does these games. Honestly, being in on this and buying the sets when they come out, because there's not going to be a second run once the new set so once these came out at the same time, once JJK came out, significantly less product for Hunter x Hunter and Bleach.
Yeah.
So unless you're just going to buy secondhand, which honestly I suggest, because you could probably get the entire Hunter set outside of the art, or not the art rares, but the signatures and the higher up stuff. You could probably get it for like $120 all in.
Yeah.
And that's playset.
It's funny because it's the exact other end for Code Geass. You're better off buying boxes of Code Geass than buying individual cards, because you're going to go down, what is that, about $400, if I remember right, for between purple and green. And you could probably get full play sets off of 5 or 6 boxes. So
I mean, the boxes are not horribly priced.
And that's coming from somebody who's used to the Magic boxes being like $90, but like 36 packs or whatever it was.
Yeah,
I felt weird like picking up a box and it fitting in my hand. I was like, oh, is this really a box? It feels small.
And this reminds me that we're gonna have another 3. Like, we're gonna have worse releases in May than we did right here, because you're gonna have Sword Art, Black Clover, and Bleach Volume 2, all within at least 2 weeks of each other.
Yeah, I'm not really looking for anything but, well, I think I was kind of interested in Black Clover.
Yeah,
I can't remember. I might go for a little bit of Black Clover, but I am interested in Sword Art and Bleach. I'm probably gonna skip the second set of it too.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna get the rest of the green Bleach stuff, because to me that was the only thing really super interesting to me in Bleach to begin with.
Yeah.
And I'll probably pick up whatever green is in Bleach Volume 2, but I've really enjoyed Black Clover as a show.
It's a good wholesome watch.
Oh yeah. Like, I like this is just JoJo flashbacks for me, because initially I said JoJo was an on the spectrum type show, and I totally have gotten into it being on the spectrum. But JoJo's is really it's a really deep show. The animation isn't bad, but it's also not the most top-notch animation that you're going to see out there. But it's the story that gets me.
And Black Clover?
For JoJo's, which I still want a JoJo's set. Black Clover, kind of the same way. Like, it has its moments in the anime where the animation is just really top-notch, but the end of that first kind of arc just really subverted my expectations of what was about to happen. Like, when you look back on it, it definitely led you up to that point, but for some reason I wasn't able to connect it as well as I feel I should have been, but at the same time, I feel they did a very, very good job of hiding the what I feel would have been more of a final arc reveal, kind of being that spoilers. Demon inside was the one pulling the strings to everything.
Yeah.
So they did really good, and I've not heard bad things after that either. Like I actually feel like like people have said it gets better.
Yeah, I've gotten pretty far now. I haven't watched it in a few years, but um, I read pretty far into it to when they went off continent. It's good. It's good. It's solid. Animation gets better and better with each passing season. I've got hopes for it.
Yeah.
What was it? Studio Herdo picked up.
Did they?
The later seasons.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think out of all this stuff, I think Black Clover is probably my next most anticipated set.
Oh.
No. Robot voice.
Am I falling out, or is that you?
I have supposedly excellent connection.
Somebody's telling me too, but I can't. I can watch the stream. But I'm not moving on stream.
I hear raindrops, so there might be a hiccup in the line.
Ah.
Even streaming it right now. I don't even know the quality. Well, quality don't matter. This is vertical. There shouldn't be any quality that I can't reach right now. Let me try. I'm going to try something since we're having technical issues, and I want to see if people can hear it.
You gonna break it?
Huh?
You gonna break it?
Do you hear the?
Oh no, but I don't have the stream audio going. I should though, shouldn't I? That wouldn't be a bad idea. No, then I'd hear myself at a delay. I don't want to do that.
But yeah, sets. Aw. And he says nope to no sounds. Lame. Do I don't know how. It's fun though. Thought I had a. Yep, that's the fail sound.
Yep, it is what it is. So, so I can play it, but you can't.
Well, that's because it's through Discord and they give us some technical stuff.
So,
anyways,
can they hear me? But like, I'm just on a very slow, delayed playback.
So your video is super slow, but your audio is on point. At least on point enough to where it wouldn't be distracting.
Because yeah, I'm looking at the screen. I just look wild.
Yeah. But I think we're done with what releases are coming up. Other than that, I would love more information about Full Metal Alchemist, but I don't think we're getting that until the fest.
Oh, I did read on why we don't have a whole lot on it. I wish I'd saved the link, but so Full Metal is not a Bandai IP, right?
Really?
Bandai had to go and request to use it, but that's public information in Japan. So in order to get ahead of any people trying to like squeeze in spoilers and cause confusion and whatnot,
Okay.
they announced that they were in the process of purchasing it, but they purchased a, a demo for the IP before they started design. So Full Metal is still in design, or at least it was whenever I was reading the article from
Okay.
November. Yeah. So.
Oh well. That actually makes a whole lot more sense now. So it was like, well, we're going to get it, so we're just going to put this as a placeholder so people can get excited for it.
Yeah.
You know, they said, I think a few weeks ago, that they were going to have 2 big announcements coming up. But they were like allowing people to speculate on what it's going to be. I'm really hoping, like, I couldn't imagine the card design taking super long for really any set, because the the play styles that they more match the anime than they're trying to do, like, in a weird roundabout way. They're not balancing for an actual overall meta, but an internal meta for each set. And then it just so happens that really, I think everything is just OP within its own meta. But then when you cross play, like when you cross sets starting to play against each people, it just ends up becoming this weird balanced play style.
Yeah.
Because they have the core of the game locked down.
But I think you do get a few sets here and there where like all 3 of the colors that they came out with have a good balance. Like that's something that I really want to make a point of for Code Geass, is if those rare battles are going to be who swings hardest, really, and it's all 3 colors. Because like I said, red, you get to attack 6 times sometimes, and the deck's not weak. It was neutered, but it's not weak. And then of course, green and purple are very strong still, but like that's a very good balanced meta if I kind of look at it objectively. It's just they also happen to be really strong for the other sets. So at least 2 decks are going to be headliners for the overall meta. But I mean that's fine. It was a good set. I'm kind of curious how Full Metal goes, because I mean, I don't think they try to go for an IP unless they feel comfortable with a design idea that they have. Because I mean, I'll hit it on again. They knocked it out of the park with Blue Lock, and I don't know that Blue Lock is a Bandai IP either. Sword Art looks really good. Is it? Okay.
Yeah. Because I believe at the beginning of every episode you see Bandai Namco on the front of it.
Okay. I might be sleeping at that point. But
you just want to get to the innuendo of a soccer ball being the impregnation of a goal.
Yeah, that was real hardcore. Good God. Hey, yeah, anybody that wants to watch a wild anime, watch Blue Lock. Second season got a little rough as far as animation goes for a little while, but its last 2 episodes have been kind of wild. Like, and God dang Shido.
Dude, doesn't that just attest to how good that show actually is? In that, like, a majority of the season, you have had people week on week just shit on that anime. Like, oh my God, the animation is so bad. But then,
did you see that last episode though?
Yes,
that was an entire anime's entire animation budget. One episode, the entire budget.
Oh, they're doing first goal. That was where.
Yeah, I can see that. God dang! No, Shido doing the backflip. Oh my God!
That last episode, it was just like, where have you been the entire season? But the entire season, people have been crapping on it. And then it was like, oh, last 2 episodes, Blue Rock's back.
It's back. It is. I'm going to get off here. I'm going to watch it again. God, no, it didn't, and it won't. I caved and I started reading the manga, and I've caught up on the manga. It doesn't stop. Like it's chapter after chapter of okay, I can't put it down yet. I have to go to sleep. I have work in 3 hours. What's happening?
It is the best boy love anime manga out there right now, and it is tricking people into thinking this is entirely hetero.
Oh no. Well, anyone that's been in sports knows there's not a straight man on that sport field. There's not. You can't be that close to somebody and not understand stuff.
It's a good show though. Like it is such a good watch, and
you know like they know how to build a side character.
I'm like at the end of this season, I'm probably going to start picking up and reading it myself because I'm kind of in right now. Just like I'm like, yeah, I don't want to wait for the next season of the anime. And in all honesty, you know, I'm going to watch the anime regardless. I've watched the sub of season 1 twice and the dub once. I'm probably going to go back and watch the dub when it starts coming out here.
Yeah, and they don't do bad on the dub either. I mean, it's straightforward. It's about sports ball. Like you don't have to be wild about it, but they got a lot of really good voice actors. I mean, what Shigiri is the voice of dude from Dr. Stone. I
looked up who their VAs are. I know Nagi was a good one. I can't remember who Nagi's voice was though. For some reason, I want to say it was
Ego is a big voice actor.
I think so. Like, there's a lot of new VAs coming up right now, and I'm kind of happy about that, considering for the last 30 years we've had the same people. I want to say that the dude doing the main guy, I want to say that's the voice of
Isagi. Yeah, Isagi.
Yeah, I want to say that's the voice of main character from JJK. Names are not my best.
Rico Fajardo. Rico Fajardo.
But yeah, like I honestly kind of like that some of them have a little bit of an accent to them as well.
Like, yeah, so Rico, the voice of Isagi, also plays Mirio in My Hero, also plays Nozel in Black Clover, and Benimaru in That Time I Got Reincarnated as Slime.
Nice.
So yeah, that's a good one. Matthew David Rudd is Votto. God dang, love him.
Votto. Oh, dude, that reminds me. Votto finally enters the game. I'm so hyped for that.
Good God, right?
Yeah, like the 5 seconds that he got in the last episode, I was like, yes, Baro got better.
And my God, like Isagi looking at Ego and be like, no, I don't want any excuses. Win us this game. God, I wanted to punch something.
Like, Ego's a great character too. Like him just kind of like, like Blue Lock's already won.
Yeah.
He's like, his words are so intentional and it makes you so hype for, it's like, oh, I have no more plans. I accomplished what I wanted to accomplish. You're literally out there taking on the U20 and they're having to take you seriously. And you were all snubbed like a month ago.
Yeah. Like
I've won regardless. And he's just, and Isagi's just like, dude, fuck that noise. We want to win.
So the end of season 2, going into season 3. Like the reveal for while this was going on is so fucking it's so fantastic, and like it had me so hyped that like I've not been writing scripts for Union Arena videos as much as I've been writing stuff for how to figure out how to do that exact same thing for football. Because it's completely possible.
Dude, I'm just the anime is
Just
so
get a bunch
good.
of people that want to score goals, and you find people that along the way that are better at defending and like shutting people down that happen to be able to still score. Like what is it, the Bangs guy? His comment of "I'm hurt, but I don't care. I just found out my love of beating down another striker, like in their own zone." God, that like if that doesn't give you chills, what will?
Yeah, like I don't know what to say. It's like they were all recruited to be the number one striker and threatened with that, hey, if you don't make it here, your career in soccer period is over.
Yeah.
And that dreading feeling always looming over their heads. Like, I am a little bit disappointed we didn't get like more of the Blue Lock stuff, and it just kind of ended with season 1, and then we're kind of moving on to this. Like, I don't know where I don't know where the story's going with this.
It stays good. It stays high stakes.
And
I'm
okay with,
it's
like,
wild.
You know, I'm okay with not knowing where it's going.
Yeah,
because
I don't want to tell you. Find out.
Well, I wanted more of the Blue Lock stuff, like in there, and them just like beating down and getting to the final 1-on-1, and you know, finding out who the best is. But in reality, how far can you really take that? You know, as much as I like season 1, I don't know if I would have wanted a repeat of season 1.
No,
and
there's a lot of cool challenges, but
yeah, it's
all about
cool.
setup, though.
Like I love where anime's at right now. They're like, there's so many shows that I don't know where the story is going, and it gets me excited.
Yeah,
like I've dropped animes for them being too obvious with their story. Like, they're not bad stories, but it's like, okay, seen it. So
going back to voice actors for a second, Megadu Bachara. That's Shinra Kusakabe from Fire Force.
Oh, Shinra, my boy.
Yeah.
Oh, that reminds me, we need a Fire Force set in this. I want it so bad. Like, they're doing season 3 finally. Let's get a Fire Force set in Union Arena.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Andy says yes.
Yeah, Fire Force is fantastic.
Again, another anime that really threw my expectations. Like, I think when it was first coming out, you told me it was good, but I kind of snubbed my nose to it because this was just another one. I was like, oh, everybody has fire powers. Ooh, they all do fire stuff. Ooh.
I was worried about that too, but somebody told me that it was the writer for what is it? It's
Soul Eater.
Soul Eater, yeah. Somebody said it was the writer for Soul Eater. I was like, you know, I could give it a chance.
You know, I didn't even start watching it because I didn't know that until they introduce what's his name? The inventor guy. And you actually don't get a fight with Shinra as the main fighter. You get Arthur as the main fighter. And
it's kind of cool.
Dude, Arthur's power is so sick. The power of imagination.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I want to be a knight. Okay, let's make you look like a knight and put a horse on your crotch. And yeah, now you just look like you're King Arthur, man, and literally beats down everybody.
Yeah.
But it was when it was during one of those episodes that I noticed some like stuffed animal from Soul Eater, and I was like, huh, Let me look into this real quick. Like, I was more interested in looking into why that existed in there than watching the episode.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, this is the same writer as Soul Eater? And this is more solid writing than Soul Eater? And Soul Eater was already pretty solid? Yeah. I'm gonna watch this, and it just gets like, oh, there's so much depth to Fire Force.
Oh yeah, no, like early on too. Like you get some good storylines early on. It can hang on. It can keep you hooked. I love it.
Oh, dude. And like, could you imagine a Fire Force set in this? I mean, it would probably go similar to a Bleach set, but you could be a little more closer with the squad affinities and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, it's completely doable. It wouldn't take a whole lot of. Wouldn't be too difficult at all.
Oh.
Yeah, I'd be kind of excited about it. Is Kodansha part of Bandai? I looked it up, and looks like that's who publishes Fire Force.
So it's different than anime, like, because a manga can be published by one place, but the animes, they, unless they're being very greedy, animes tend to be worked on in groups. So you'll see like multiple groups have hands in a show, and so it would have to be more like who's making the anime, because I think that's how Bandai gets a hold of these titles. Because if they were doing, like, if they had the manga, I wouldn't be opposed to having manga panel cards in this game.
Oh no, yeah, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, like, do you know how sick that would be for some of them?
Yeah,
like, we're already getting like specific art for some later sets. I believe that it's already been announced that there's like specific art that has been commissioned for certain cards.
Yeah.
So I mean, just slapping a manga panel on one, yeah, that'd be sick. Like some of the ones that go really hard.
Yeah, and you know how they before Thousand Year Blood War came out for Bleach, the manga finished, right? Well,
yeah,
there was such a long time period between when the manga finished and when Thousand Year Blood War came around that I think Kubo actually got behind the project to fully color render and the rest of the manga. So like I think from Fullbringers forward, you can find seamless color illustration manga panels for Bleach, and you can get, and some of those look fantastic. Like I think he had a director's position in getting all that stuff worked out, so he made sure that he got all the color schemes that he wanted, because and that's something Kubo is fantastic with, right? Is character design and color scheme stuff.
Oh no, like Kubo intentionally only makes manga because he wants to draw cool stuff. Like,
yeah,
he has admittedly done this, and I have said for a long time that I am down for Kubo drawing.
Yeah,
as far as
just the side effects of him drawing.
Yeah, as far as being a storyteller, I wish he would or delegate that up to someone that was better equipped for that and would work with them.
Yeah, I can see that.
Which I just ran I ran a poll from, I don't know how long, I lost track. Asking favorite sets: Bleach, Code Geass, Hunter x Hunter, or JJK. Bleach and Code Geass tied.
Code Geass is a old guard.
It is, like, it surprisingly, that anime is like 20 years old.
Yeah, it holds up still pretty good. I mean, it's very, like, you can tell. You
you
haven't
know,
finished it. Don't come at me.
I-
it's it's still a metal anime and it does well.
so I had an intention to try to get caught up with as much as I could before this set came out. First episode hurts my brain so bad because I'm like,
I'll have to go back.
what? So,
Good a minute.
death.
Someone call it Amber Lamps.
So, I think freaking Light is writing my name down in the net. No, not now.
I mean, you slander Code Geass. Death Note came out same season, I believe.
2006.
That was a big season for anime. Code Geass and Death Note coming out at the same time. Yeah.
No, like the first episode, and I hate the setup to Lelouch. Like the first episode is supposed to make you like either like or dislike the main character or have some reason to want to watch him continue in the show, correct?
Yeah, I can see that.
I don't understand anything about Lelouch in that first episode because that first episode was so split between trying to tell you the way that the world works, which could have been set up for another episode, because you could expand on why the world is the way it is, or even just slightly touch on it, but they went way too heavy with it in the first episode and trying to set up CC and the Geass and get like just set this random encounter up when they should have been setting up Lelouch, who you're like, okay, so he's supposed to be this Light Yagami style super intelligent, and the reason I make this comparison is because I feel that's the comparison that you want to make. You're wanting to make this super smart character in the first episode, right?
Okay.
And the way they were trying to set that up was with the chess game with the noble. You don't see the chess game at all. You just see the noble's trophies in the back, and that you get told that Lelouch is coming in at on the losing side, and he has to get out of it. And then you cut to other things going on within the world. And then the next time you see him, he's basically won and walking out. How did he win? What did he do? What was so impressive? You literally are just saying that Lelouch is just that good that you don't need to watch him.
Not excusing the writer, but I don't think the writer knew how to detail a chess game. I don't think they knew how to play chess. They just knew it was a game for smartphones.
That is a failure on his part then.
Yeah.
And considering that this was a original anime, that there was no adaptation from a manga.
Yeah.
Like you would have had a team working on that, and someone could have made an interesting chess game, or even just reached out to somebody to ask, like, hey, what really interesting move would you do to come from a behind game? You know, but that, like, it didn't need to be the entire episode, although I would have preferred it to have been the entire episode. But at least, so what?
How much Queen's Gambit have you watched?
Queen's Gambit, I don't think I've watched any of it.
Okay, yeah, it's a Netflix show about chess. It's supposed to be a good watch. It's rough to watch if you're not like super. I like chess. Like, yeah, I play it pretty well.
Super nerd here. I was actually part of the chess club in high school.
Lame. Was I? Are you talking about me or you?
Me.
Really? Nice.
Yeah. I mean, granted, I was like backwoods in a school of maybe like 300 people.
Ah,
But we had a chess club because we had a really cool teacher that wanted it.
okay. Yeah, it's. I don't think Lelouch was written as well as an intellectual protagonist as Light Yagami was, and realistically, neither of them are the actual protagonists in their own stories. I would say for Code Geass, Suzaku is a better protagonist than Lelouch is. Lelouch is he's the lead of the story, but he does so much wrong and right at the same time, just for both, for mostly revenge. Because I mean, you don't know it at the time, but the noble that he beat in that chess match is his relative. I'm pretty sure it's his cousin.
Because all the nobles are related.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But
and Lelouch repeatedly kills his brothers and sisters and all that throughout the story, just for revenge, because he detests his dad so much. Like, brings down a whole freaking nation because he's pissed off at dad. So
yeah, it like maybe Light wasn't written as a super intelligent character, because I think on a second watch of Death Note, like the turning point in Death Note is where Light kills the female CIA agent.
Yeah,
that is where it stops becoming about his sense of justice and punishing the injustice in the world.
Yeah,
and becomes,
it's about
I'm
power
trying not to get caught.
Well, no, it's not even not trying to. It's not even trying not to get caught. It's holding on to the power that he has because he doesn't want it to go anywhere.
And it's that maybe Code needed that L character to kind of do that cat and mouse game, or be a lot, create that illusion of a stronger narrative, and that these characters are super smart. Then, it really seems like with Lelouch, when he starts to run into a wall, he falls back on that Geass power.
Yeah.
And again, that first episode doesn't, like, it would have been a much, like, so I did watch my first watch. I remember getting pretty far into it, but it really seems like that Geass starts to become more of a crutch. And I think I would have liked more if there was maybe a death sentence attached to using the Geass. Like, oh, if you use this, you're using like portions of your life.
You need to watch a little bit further, because there definitely is, and has to do with CC. I don't like CC as a character, but it has to do with CC and some stuff that she kind of sets up. I think she could have been a much better character than what she ended up being. But yeah, there ends up being a price, and newsflash, Lelouch pays it.
But I know he starts to lose control of it. I know there's a point to where he like confronts his dad, and then it, like, the world resets, and he has a younger brother instead of a younger sister, but the brother's like there to kind of keep an eye on him.
Yeah, Rolo. Yeah.
Yeah, and like he does something. I don't know. Like I said, I got far into it. There's just so much that I don't like about what's going on with it.
Give it the finish out, because it's I do like the way that it ends. It hurts. It's like there's parts of the ending that are empty a good bit, but I do feel it's a very good ending. It's a lot better than the way that Death Note ends. Death Note kind of, those last several episodes just kind of.
We don't talk about those. Death Note ended at episode 26, not 31.
You're right. Definitely right. Yeah, like there's not that moment for Code Geass. It stays.
Light one, nothing else happens.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think Lelouch was written as smart as Light was, but I also don't think the writers were as intelligent as the writer for Death Note. It's really hard for somebody that's not like a genius themselves to write a genius. I know I've seen a lot of or read a lot of stuff where somebody attempted that, but you can't. It's not something you can kind of convey if you don't experience it yourself.
Yeah, like especially like again, like Code Geass was written by committee, not by a single person. So there's that too. Death Note, you had one person with one idea who wanted to move forward with it, and they didn't have any people trying to push and pull, and not like normally I feel original animes do very well in the public persona because that is the source material. There is nothing to look to and say, oh well, they didn't do that. So
yeah,
I typically tend to like original animes, but yeah, I'm like I'm gonna try. Unfortunately, Code Geass is kind of hard to like find somewhere to watch it these days because I think they took
yeah.
it
That's why
off
I
of
asked where
most
you
streaming
watched.
services. Huh?
Yeah, that's why I asked where you were watching it because I wanted to take a look at it because it's been about I think it's been about 5 years since I watched it. So I have to.
Not on any paid service. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, it's all good.
Not soon because I'm disturbing story. Japan's about to get into using AI to shut down pirating sites.
Yeah.
It's the first time that I've kind of gotten scared that you're not going to be able to watch anime in a overseas friendly way.
Yeah.
Oh, but
anyway, where we at?
Tangents, anime. But I mean, that's what the game's supposed to do is have you talk about anime.
Oh yeah.
Did we have anything else to say about rare battles other than that I really love the card arts and that we're going to them?
Well, I kind of want to touch on the decks that we're thinking about running. I think I sent you Purple Hunter Hunter. Let's take a look at that one real quick if you got it.
Send me purple. You sent me purple code.
Oh, scroll up on that thread because I sent you JJK, Hunter Hunter, and code.
Discord thread. Blah.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought these were from older conversations.
Oh no, I sent you all three like back to back to back.
Gotta specify with me.
Yeah. It's about communication.
Slow. That's very slow. Okay. Yellow JJK. Let's talk about it.
So this is where I ended up in JJK. The intention is getting to Gojo, because a 5,000 impact meter is always good, and then he also draws you cards.
Yes.
It lets you play it free too. It's kind of busted. And 6 isn't that hard to get to in this deck. You've got pandas, you've got
panda
Inumakis. Like it's not that difficult to get to. Yeah, and that UG, there's 4 of that UG in there that if you need him or need to tap him down to get you a double energy, you can. He's good stuff. But the intention is to get there, but there's a sneaky early game where you can use Navaras, you can use the small pandas, and use Toge Inumaki, like that one. And God, it's sneaky powerful. Like you're not committing to the board so much after you get it started, which lets you build your hand up for when your opponent gets bigger in the late game, so you can start throwing your big stuff down, which is kind of when you want to save the big stuff. But in the early game, you want to have this Toge either mainly on the back line. He's best late game on the front line to stop their impactors for a turn. But you can turn your pandas, you can turn your little Navaras, your Dome Block Gojos into beat sticks for a turn because he buffs everybody, and you keep slamming them until they have to commit to their board and then that's when you drop your Gojos, and that's when you you raid Nobara after you tap their character down with the small Nobara. God, that's such a good moment. Like, yeah,
You have this fully built, right?
yes.
Have you been
I've played it 2 weeks. 2 weeks now.
okay.
I top forward. I think I was third place. Second weekend, first weekend is when I ran into just the buzzsaw of 6 dogs on the field, like twice that night. I was like, well, I need to commit the early game. Luckily, I already had the early game. I just wasn't looking at it in that particular night. But yeah, the follow up, I just it wrecked pretty well. I think I did lose to blue Sukuna, but I also just floundered in the wrong parts of the deck for a little too long. So I played that game, or that one loss happened pretty quick. So I asked for, like, I usually just play quick games until the time runs out for everybody else. Played 2 more games, won the other 2 games pretty handily. So I mean, small sample size. He probably wasn't playing as hard as if it was a game that mattered, but like did come out on top 2 out of 3 matches. So it's a good solid deck. I like how many triggers we have in this, and enough of them are action triggers that double block Gojo ruins your opponent's day often enough on their turn.
You have 4, 8, 7 no trigger cards in a 50 card deck.
That's the mana position though, sadly. But the triggers that you do have matter enough and do well enough. And really, you're not losing. You're not taking a lot of hits early game because your opponent's trying to set up too much to keep from dying to Inumaki just sending a bunch of 3 and 4Ks that aren't supposed to be 3 and 4Ks.
Dude, you showed me that, like, I wasn't 100% on this until I seen the Inumaki, and I was like, that Inumaki's just really good, isn't it?
Yeah, it kind of is, and he's cheap. Like the deck needed a low drop because it kind of floundered getting to 6 for a while, and then Inumaki just kind of seeds that mid game because you want him in the back until you can start getting your double energy guys. Because I mean, the way the game flows is generally you're playing Little Panda, you're playing Big Panda, and Nobara, or the 2 small Nobaras early on, and then backing them up with Inumaki in the back line. Well, they turn pretty big and solid, and your pandas they can step back whenever you start getting your double energy guys. So the early game's set up, and by the time you want to start doing your late game, you move Inumaki up so that you can start blocking their impactors while you set up your late game, which is a bunch of impactors, a bunch of damage 2 that taps their guys down, and then 5,000 power Gojo that just they don't have enough removal for him. They're not winning because I mean he comes with a removal usually. Half the time that I'm casting him, I'm using Hollow Purple with him to remove their guy. So it's good. It's fun too.
I can imagine, like, with all these steppers, you're having an interesting early game in that you can have them in the back, but you can move them up, like if your hand's just not there, so you're not just dead on the board. You can like you're risking them by being up on the front because that's where all the event cards that start to take effect on them. But you can get
that's another thing though. If
early
they're
damage
using their removal on those guys, they're taking
Absolutely
a Nobara or a freaking Gojo to the face. You only have so much removal.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like what you do with blue in Magic. You just keep playing stuff until your opponent don't have any more counters.
Yeah,
and you you make them use it on stuff that doesn't matter.
Yep.
And then
because to them it does matter because you got Inumaki pumping freaking Panda up to a 4K. And what are you doing against a 4K Panda? He's throwing hands.
Panda and hands. Yeah.
What a better combo. Or what a combo, yeah.
Panda hands. But yeah, like I can see it being very threatening, especially if like like I feel bad for the people who don't look at other decks and they're just looking at meta decks. Granted, that's on them, but this could come as a very quick surprise.
Yeah.
And just smack them in the face.
Now, it does have weaknesses, but I don't know that those weaknesses really exist too heavily in JJ, other than like a good Sukuna run can put you down, but he does that to everybody. And same thing, you can do that to them with enough Nobaras back to back, you know. But it does fold pretty heavily if you don't get your double block Gojos out to like the hyper aggro stuff, like red Kogios or the multi attacking side of yellow, which I was thinking about trying to figure out a way to fit those dogs in this, but I don't see a good way without dropping either Panda or Navara.
So, do you think like the key to beating it though? You think keeping the Toga off the fields and keeping you off of Nobara would definitely hinder this, and you like if you use just your removal spells to take these guys out, and then you use your characters to block or force a block, killing them. You think
I think the key to beating it is just to be too aggro. Like if you can outpace this a good bit, because it does take some setup. There is a definite break between the early game when your stuff, when you're playing this deck, your stuff's not big enough to block their stuff early on, and it takes a minute to get to Gojo, or like either one of them. So that's when you come up weak. If they have a really good strong starting hand, and you flounder for a turn or two, you do lose. That's just how the deck goes. But any kind of game where you're playing at an amount of parity, I feel like this does come out on top, just because you mess with their board too much. It would probably have a hard time coming back against like Hisoka pulling the mana or the good energy producers up.
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask. Like,
yeah, you rely really heavily on that Toge Inumaki. Like he sits in the back a lot to help you shore up your energy, because Panda moves up a lot. He moves up and moves back, but he does catch strays sometimes. So you hope that Inumaki stays back and provides you double mana enough. And if he gets pulled up, you're kind of having a hard time. You're leaving Pandas in the background when you really don't want them to have to stay in the background. Yeah, it's got definite weaknesses, but I feel like it does really good stuff.
Solid deck. Like, I'm a little surprised you're only using one final, or not one final, but you didn't go max on the finals in this. It's
not really. I needed more double mana producers, and the cost was a final. I think I wanted to run an infinite void, but you can't really. You can still get all of your double producers. You need those hollow purples. You need all those Navaras.
All the Navara.
If anything, you might trim big Gojos first to start putting stuff in, but that's hard to do. I know he's two action points, but he also lets you play something for free, so he kind of makes up for it.
Yeah, like even though I mean, we've seen it. We've seen it with the Unohana from Bleach. Even though yes, you're playing something big for 2 action points, this taking away an action points and being able to either play something for free or play something for a reduced cost is very powerful in this game.
Yeah. But, yeah, that's what I got. I think you said you were probably on blue for JJK.
Yeah, I don't have a list ready though.
It's all good.
We'll just go with something that I know.
Yeah.
Because I mean, this is pretty much what I'm playing. Like, if you're not on this is probably what I'm playing anyways, outside of Blue JJK, which I think we're still 2-3 cards from it being completed, but they're
Yeah, need Maki's.
yeah.
Speaking of, I wonder how much Maki is right now.
No idea. But no, I think like I think this is the other fun thing to come like about this game is like you're always gonna be coming back to decks every time that a new set comes out, and you gauge like, is this viable with this new set? Do I make changes to make this more viable with this new set that just came out?
Yeah.
But I think this was like like right up until JJK came out. I think this was the most solid Purple had felt.
Yeah, yeah. I think there was times where we switched out the little Hisokas to go bigger on like Silva. I think is what we ran to ran as well sometimes.
Actually, I don't.
But that was
this
really
isn't what this isn't what the build is right now. There is a Silva in there. I think we even took out a little Crollo for the fourth Illumi.
Oh yeah, that's right. We're risking it with just 4 little Crollos. That's
yeah.
But I will say the build that has Silva in it does just get tanked hard by anything from JJK. it's not it's not close.
Well,
like I'd have to get a lot more games in because I really am only familiar with going against blue with yellow right now. But God, it felt hopeless anytime I was playing purple against blue JJK.
Yeah, like blue JJK is just faster and more consistent than anything that this can do right now until volume 2 comes out and you can get the Crollo that can activate off of like get a Crollo from a Crollo.
Yeah.
It's like I remember when we seen it and I was kind of just like, nah, I don't think it matters. Yeah. But there is merit in having that, but also you change the deck around from being kind of this mix to being much more solid Phantom Troop.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I still don't know if you go down on the Illumi personally. I think
Illumi's too good. Illumi comes down real early easy.
Yeah.
That's usually the 2 runs that you want is you want to get to Hisoka as fast as you can. If you can't get to Hisoka, drop an Illumi or 2 and put pressure on that way.
Yeah. But I do know Kaluto goes out in favor of the Phantom Troop version of her.
Yes. Yes.
I don't think he ever leaves. That Kalu is just so freaking good.
That Kalu is technically from the second Japanese set.
Oh, so that's right. I forgot about that.
Because he is pretty good. He stays pretty good.
But there's Phantom Troops that are good and there's ones that are bad, but I do think you go more heavy on it. And I also think you add, you know, the spiders tattoo, which lets you search for and put 2 spiders in your hand.
Yeah.
And that's just a really strong search. Forget something else comes in volume 2 that makes this way better other than just the Crollo.
You get a couple Hisokas that are pretty good.
That's right. There are some Hisokas. Yes.
Yeah. There's one that causes your opponent to discard from hand and he's a 4K. What else is there?
Like you could go much more heavy on the Hisokas and make it pseudo control.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what the deck does to begin with. Is it messes with your opponent's energy line until you can get ahead and start doing some crazy stuff.
Like I think I think you take this Sphinx out in favor of something else that comes in it.
I wonder what, because I love Finks. Like I know it doesn't seem like much, but him just letting you cycle through a bunch of stuff as fast as you can.
Yeah. It's
And
really good.
he makes the next version of Crollo even better because you can put stuff in your grave that you're not going to get to anytime soon, and then when you raid that coming Crollo, you've got stock in your graveyard to make use of.
Yeah, like I'm actually curious too. Like I'm curious how Zoldyks do because they get a lot more as well.
Yeah, there's
In
a
that
limit
next
that's if there are 3 or more Zoldyck family in your area, choose up to 1 character on your opponent's front line. It gets -1000, and you must block this turn if able. So it's it's exactly what Gwaine does really well in the Kogias purple deck,
Yeah.
and that like that thing's weaker, but it also has to block me, so it's dying.
Yeah, like I'm going to be curious when like I don't know if Volume 2 does enough to like really pull this deck up into the upper echelons of what, like, there's so much that's going to be coming out before this Volume 2 set comes out, because I think it's going to be kind of like a shadow launch, and I don't think it's going to get the love that it should, but it's like, oh, it's going to come out, and very few people are going to want to play it because, unfortunately, with the main set releasing next to Bleach, it had like, other than it just being another set to play with when the game was so new, I really think Hunter x Hunter starts getting buried by each new set that comes out.
Yeah, it does. I mean, even you can even see it right now. The green Kurapika is it folds to green Kogias pretty hard. I mean, the reason why you play green Kurapika is because of Kurapika, and Lancelot is just a bigger, meaner, angrier Kurapika.
Who only has a mech? Kurapika just has pretty eyes.
Stare into him.
Oh, either way it goes, like I
don't see anything in the second set for Hunter x Hunter that makes green any leagues better. I mean, you get more 4K, like a higher saturation 4Ks, but that might be for the Golden and Friends version instead of the Kurapika version.
Yeah, like purple gets, so you get a more focused Spiders version, you get a more focused Zoldyck version. I don't think green gets much better, but I don't remember a lot of the cards from the green Volume 2 of Hunter x Hunter.
It just looks like you get more Gone and Friends ability stuff.
Blue specified slots gets a little better, but I still think it's bad. Like, out of every card in Volume 2 Hunter x Hunter, I think the only thing that is really interesting and good is Bubble Horse. Bubble Horse is like the only thing from that set that gets good.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's like, oh, I'd have to look it up again. It's been a minute since I've seen it. But
what color is it?
Blue.
Yeah.
Blue Hunter x Hunter Volume 2. It's like a 4 or 5K blocker, I think it was, but it's like really cheap. I just I remember seeing it and I'm like, oh, that's a really good card.
3/1 Bubble Horse on block if the attacking creature or attacking character has 45 or higher BP. This character gets plus 3000 BP during this turn. That sounds funny. That sounds like a good time.
Yeah. Like I said, Bubble Horse is a really good blocker, and I having 2 or 3 of them up there and somebody attacking with like their really big thing. Okay, block it with a horse.
Yeah,
but
I'm gonna attack with Hisoka. Well, I'm blocking Hisoka with a horse.
Yep,
Can you go home somewhere?
But Blue Bomber doesn't get better because they don't do anything with it.
Yeah.
But I think in Volume 2 of Hunter x Hunter, I really think the Razor yellow Razor deck is probably going to be the, I don't want to say the top tier Hunter deck, but I think it's going to be up there because there's just a lot of synergy there that I don't know if was fully intentional, but just with the way that it works, because he does Nin Beast, and like it's like every Nin Beast counts as a Razor.
Yeah, I saw that. And then you can,
So you just have like a really easy raid target for him. And then he's just a big, powerful guy.
Yeah.
So yeah, like Volume 2 is going to be interesting. I'm really hoping that we see it before the end of next year. Like if we're already getting Bleach Volume 2, let's go ahead and get Hunter x Hunter Volume 2.
Yeah. Hopefully soon. I just worry that Hunter x Hunter didn't sell super well, so they might be not interested in bringing it over.
I mean, it had a month, and its competition was Bleach, and I know Bleach was the more popular anime.
Yeah. At least,
but at the same time, I think with it being one of those first sets and people being curious enough, I think it probably sold well enough. Like it definitely did not sell as well as Bleach, but I think people having that maybe FOMO and I'm so excited, I've collected everything for Bleach. Oh, I'm going to get everything for Hunter x Hunter.
Well, you got to keep in mind, all of the so many of the events that were happening. Green Hunter x Hunter was like 2/3 of the meta, like the field. It was wild. Like there's more green Hunter x Hunter out there than any of the Bleach decks. Even at the top of Renji Rush, like didn't matter. Like most of that field was Kurapika.
And there were weeks that you would see purple Hunter x Hunter and green Hunter x Hunter in the top 3. Yep. And you'd only have purple Bleach, and green Bleach fell pretty hard when people were messing around with purple.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that first month was very interesting. And I mean, I'm sure there's not people who were buying singles to make a deck that probably wasn't more than $40. They were buying packs.
Yeah.
But because I mean, even with this build, the 2 most expensive cards were Crollo and Illumi.
They're both what, $2?
Huh?
They're both what, $2?
No, actually they've held pretty hard. Illumi was the super expensive one. He was at about $10 a piece. He has now dropped to $3 last time I looked. And
he's
Crollo
at right now. He's at 328 right now.
Okay. Crollo has been the surprising one in that he was like $2 at one point, and I think that's when I picked him up, all 4 of them.
Yeah.
And he kind of shot up to about $7-8, and that's where he's held, I believe.
Right now he is 323, but that's there's been a pretty big decline since JJK came out.
I mean, that makes sense.
He was at 9 for it looks like 2 weeks.
Yeah. And then Hisoka has been as low as 40 cents.
Really?
Yeah. I overpaid for him at 70 cents, and I bought 12 of them. And I only did that with the expectations that people are going to catch on and he's going to jump up. Oh, my predictions are so bad.
He's a quota right now.
He's oh damn, he's all the way down there.
Yeah.
Pick up your Hisokas now. He's gonna shoot up, I promise. That would only be true if this was gonna be a tier 1 deck when volume 2 came out.
Nah, it's not gonna be that. It might. I mean, it might be tier 2. I don't know. I don't think it's even tier 2. I think.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I don't. If we're being honest,
I think it becomes the meta for Hunter x Hunter in rare battles after season 2 drop, or set 2 drops.
Yeah, I think once rare battles start kicking off a lot more, and you narrow the field down, you don't play blue in Hunter x Hunter rare battles. You're either playing green or purple, a version of one of those. And considering I think green gets worse after volume 2, and kind of a personal preference, but at the same time, it's like looking at it and it's like, you can, I feel you can just do a lot more with purple than you can with green. The only wild card is going to be, what does yellow do?
Yeah, I'm curious about it, but we probably got a while before that comes around.
Oh yeah. But I still like the deck. I still like the way that it feels. I don't know where to go with it.
It's swapping out a few Ahsokas maybe for something bigger if the meta seems slower, but if the meta's fast, you do want those 2 little Ahsokas, I think.
Yeah.
All right.
Purple Geese, this is all you because I am so far behind on the meta for what Geese is.
So this is pretty close to what I saw. I saw something about somebody won an Eggman event last night with Purple Geass that looks a lot like this, but I've got 2 tech cards in here. It's those bottom 2 cards. That's mostly just to get a hold of the stuff that you want more often. I think that's the one that lets you dig 4 deep, searching for a KMF, which is what Gwaine and Gurren are. Those are your 2 raid targets. And then the other one beside her, I think that's the same chick, but just a different card. You can sacrifice that to bring something from the graveyard back that's a KMF, which would be Gurren or Gwaine. So it just gives you more hits on your big raids that really finish the game for you. But realistically, most of this deck most of the gameplay of this deck happens before you start raiding, and that's from your Lelouches up top. You interfere with your opponent's board by quite a bit. They're good blockers. They produce a good bit of energy when you want them that way. They set you up really well to then drop your raid targets and do some good stuff after that. That Lelouch, he's fantastic. I would kind of possibly drop the other 4-drop Lelouch for a full 4 of this guy, because that I might drop that one for a full 4 of that one, because he gives your opponents fits. He's a 3,500 blocker. He makes them discard a card if he ever dies. You draw a card, so he replaces himself.
I'm going to chump block and refill my hand. Oh, so horrible.
Yeah. The thing is, if I'd have to check to make sure on the rules, but this happened to me the other night where I attacked into somebody that had raided on top of that Lelouch with Gwaine, and I killed that Gwaine, and when the Gwaine and that Lelouch went to the sideline, they still were able to draw a card. And the judge.
No.
Okay.
No, if this Lelouch has been if you've rated a card, this doesn't exist anymore.
Okay.
So you don't that.
I got sauced.
Yeah, you got fleeced, dude. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, they
Okay.
don't exist. Their effects do not activate.
Okay. I thought since it touched the graveyard as that, possibly they got the draw, but okay. No,
Yeah.
that's a little different. Okay.
No, it's the so it's the same thought as if so say Toshi, you know, you're playing against a Toshi and he taps something down and it stays down, right?
Yeah.
But you can raid and stand.
Hmm.
That bottom card no longer exists. It is the top card is all that matters.
Okay.
Unless
Okay.
it specifically says something like with Paladin's necklace to take the top card and bounce it.
Yeah.
So typically, and you know, we were talking about this and how powerful JJK was bouncing was, where you bounce a card and the bottom card gets removed.
Yeah.
Right. So unless like something like a necklace says that take the top card and the bottom card stays, that bottom card no longer exists once it's been rated.
Okay.
So when it dies, it's not a they separate and the bottom card hits first and then the top card hits. It's now one card.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in that case, you probably want to avoid rating on top of this version, because you really do want him to hit the grave like that, so you get the card.
Yeah, I would almost say that if you're rating this one, you should be winning the game. Otherwise, he should be a chump blocker to draw 2 more cards.
Yeah, that makes sense. But God, the deck's strong though. I mean, you can go over to the CC, or yeah, that one. I think that's the one where is he drops them by 1,000, or is that the one that they can't block unless they're certain?
Choose up to 1 character on your opponent's front line. It loses 1,000 BP until end of turn.
Okay, so yeah, you've got that guy, and then you play Gwaine. Gwaine drops them by 3K. You kill most things. That's just your regular zero energy guy.
Back to like, because this is like really like my autism is taking hold of, like I need details right now.
Oh, what?
So like, because I have in mind of about 2 to 3 people it could have been, and
it was a new guy. I haven't played against yet.
Okay, so brand new guy. Okay,
yeah.
So was Judge not available?
I think he was playing, and I was speed playing, so I don't. It's like I guess that makes sense. Whatever, because it makes like that's the way it's worked for Magic before, when not the meld, the mechanic from Ikoria where you stacked cards on top of each other to make big giant text blocks.
Yeah, but in that case, it wasn't like you were really putting card over another card. It's like, you know, you're adding to the text box instead of having one card with a big text. Like, you know, you added an effect to a card. This isn't with raid. You're not adding anything to it. It's just like, I need you for fuel. I'm going to eat you.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
The CC is good with all the double. Oh, go
ahead. Draw a card if you have used a card with 2 AP cost this turn. Draw an additional card. Oh, that's sick. Actually,
it's dirty because those 2 Lelouches are both 2 action points for to cast them, and then your removal is 2 action points as well. But your removal lets you do some cool stuff if you meet the requirements. So yeah, the deck's about drawing a bunch of cards and slamming face late game.
CC.
You really don't need a lot of mana generation in this deck either. It plays a lot like Purple Bleach in that effects, and that like
it looks like
if you get double mana, it helps out a little bit. But really, you're chain gunning everything so fast, it doesn't really matter. You've got a 5. That's
okay. I was about to say it looks like 4 was your top end. I didn't see this one here.
Yeah.
What is Gwaine? Raid. This character cannot be blocked by a character. Oh yeah, you can't chump block out with this one. are
Yep.
against this one.
Feels like removal every time. God, it felt you feel awful to go against. So I was like, God dang it! I just want to block it with something that matters, or block it with something that doesn't matter, so I can make them the next turn. No, everything mattered.
Oh, let me play this Lelouch to knock your 5K guy down to 2K, then raid with this and hit you in the face.
Yep. Yep.
Board
See
state.
what happens.
Gross. Just gross. Fun, but gross.
Yeah.
I do wish he had a little bit more though, like other than just not being able to chump block.
Well,
This is all characters. Okay.
Yeah. No, it's the entire field gets dropped.
Oh, wait a minute. There's things turning in my head like killing or wiping a board with him.
Yeah, no, you can do it.
I mean, it's work, but yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds fun. If Lelouch is on your field, this character gains 1K BP. Wow. For one, like,
yeah, no.
Slam down.
Get good early game. Yeah.
Nice. I like it. I like her.
And then you raid Gurren on top of her. And Gurren's both Gurren are pretty good.
See, when played, choose up to one character with 3,000 or less BP on your opponent's front line and sideline it. This character gains impact 1 until end of turn. Okay.
Yeah, so if you do a back-to-back raid of Gwaine then Gurren, you're probably killing something, and then you've got impact, and they can't block him unless it's a valuable card, and you're just ruining their day. And the other
my
Gurren
God.
isn't bad either.
Oh no, dude. Okay, so where's that? Okay, so this Lelouch, then you where's it at? Then you stand.
Yeah.
To get your AP back. Play this Gwaine. And then play this Gurren.
Yeah, you've dropped at least 7,000 to 8,000 BP across the board, but if they have a full board, it's more like 9,000 BP in a turn. Yeah, it's dumb. And
that's fun.
Yeah, no, you have some big plays in this deck, and it's pretty fun. What matters is being able to hit them more often. That's why I have the tech of the two ladies at the bottom.
Yeah.
Just to be able to do it more, because the more times you can hit them with those razzle dazzles, the worse they're feeling. And then we haven't even talked about the last Gwaine, because or the last Gurren. Let me just think about this one.
Okay, so if Lelouch is on your field, this character gains, your opponent must block this character's attack if able, and impact 1. Oh, okay, so this is a sniper effect.
Basically, you're forcing them to block. It's removal, but you have impact behind it.
Yeah.
This deck has 5 different cards that have removal.
I liked it with this one, but I like that little play better with this. Just because they have to block, so they're losing. Yeah, they're doing it like it's doing a lot.
Well, both of them have impact, so I mean, you're still getting removal. It just depends on if you think that it really just depends on how you're playing the game at the time, because both of them lose impact after turn. But
yeah, that's the only thing that would make me that is making me hesitate a little bit about all this, is because like none of this is like, nothing that gets played in this is permanent. Like it's like one instance of impact, one instance of impact, one instance of negating or subtracting 1,000 BP to each of your opponent's characters.
Yeah.
You know, it's all very temporary, but so far the way the game has been played is the temporary stuff
It lasts long enough because the game usually ends.
Yeah.
If you're doing that stuff, the game's probably ending.
It may not end that turn, but it definitely puts you ahead and puts your opponent behind enough, especially if you're playing it at the right time, that you get ahead and they just don't have an opportunity to catch up. And it just gets like they keep falling in a hole.
Yeah.
And they can't get out.
And that's
yeah.
Yeah, you've got 3 of these raid cards, so you've got enough to keep throwing them out. That was something that we were trying to figure out with Purple Hunter is like how much saturation do you need to stay strong even in the late game? And I think the answer was Hisoka, Frollo, and Illumi give you enough thickness to keep going.
Yeah, and you basically have to chance it with Crollo of not having a raid target for him because that middling Crollo just doesn't do enough to be impactful in a game. Whereas the Illumi, like every one of the Illumis are really good to play. And sometimes you're just not raiding with the Crollo. Like you're just playing a vanilla 4K Crollo, which is okay.
Yeah.
Granted, you want the impact off of him, but hey, sometimes it just doesn't happen. And I think that's where the inconsistency of Purple comes from, is that in order to be competitive, you have to play it very risky.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I like this. Like the consistency is really strong. I don't have much to say about it because I haven't looked super, like I said, I haven't looked super deep into Lelouch.
You draw so many cards in this deck. It's wild. You just keep drawing.
Look, I was almost on board with getting green Code Geass.
Yeah.
And building it up because I was liking what I was seeing from it. This is looking fun as well. Like
they match up against each other pretty evenly too, from what I've seen.
I really can see myself playing this.
Yeah, I want to finish it, and I want to finish green, and we've got to have some labs. Like we got to get together and just throw it.
Oh, dude!
Like over and over again, because I've got to figure out the matchups and how to play it and play against it better than where I'm at right now, because I feel like I'm behind because I don't have the full deck of either one of these yet.
Yeah,
but
and
it's fun.
Like I'm liking the lines that I'm seeing, but I know I'm not seeing everything here. And then there's also going to be like in the moment lines that you're going to have to just make work.
Yeah, and your triggers are really good in this. I think there's only one card in here that doesn't have triggers, and it's the 0-drop CC.
Okay.
Oh wait, our package at the bottom doesn't have triggers.
No trigger, but that's okay.
Yeah.
But I always like raids that add to your hand. The being able to raid off of a life is better, but adding it to your hand is absolutely acceptable too.
Yeah.
Case in point, add to your hand or raid.
Yeah. Well, one was the starter deck version, and the other one was the pack version. But we didn't get the starter deck, so they just included all in the box.
That's what I was about to say. I didn't think we got the starter deck in this.
I wish we did. It would be easier to build this deck if they did.
Then of course the common purple trigger, add to your hand. See, I also like little people like this. Add to your hand. It just gives you like, oh, I need a raid target. Oh, this was in my life. Now it's in my hand.
So, a funny story. I built. I don't know if I ever sent you the version of green that I ended up coming down on, but I built the green the way I did because I wanted the deck just to be chock full of triggers, as many as I could. And I ended up putting 2 Jeremiahs in. And Jeremiah just so happens to be the raid target of Siegfried, a mech that I could probably But anyways, it's the mech that you raid, and it pulls something out of the graveyard and puts it back in your hand. And I was like, well, this deck's wanting to throw down Suzaku's all, or not Suzaku's, Lancelot's all the time. Well, the only way that you lose is if that Lancelot dies. What if the Lancelot comes back? Like, you've got Siegfried, you're already using Jeremiah's because Jeremiah is a stepper that produces 2 energy. So it all worked out well together. I think I've got a bit of a different build than what most people do because they go a little bit harder on the double energy for everything in the deck that's not Lancelot. But
yeah,
it's hard to build that deck bad. I just wonder, like, it's more of what's going to be good against the mirror, what's going to be good against this, like the purple Code Geass. Because I think a more straightforward version does better against Code Geass. But who knows? We've got to play test it to figure it out better.
Yeah, and I mean we'll get time. I just gotta, I gotta get around. I gotta get that get comfortable in my new job.
Yeah. And we've got to finish getting all the decks because we're not quite complete with all of them. We're close, but not quite there.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think this is the last thing we're going to go over, right?
Yeah. You wanted to talk about Jump Fest in Orlando next month. I know we were talking. We've been talking about trying to go to it, but hey, it ain't in the cards.
Yeah, timeline doesn't work for me at all. I wish it did.
Nah, I wish it would have been a lot better.
We do know a lot of people that are going though.
Hmm?
We do know a lot of people that are going though.
Oh, we do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the main 7 that show up every week at the card shop.
Yes.
6 of them are going.
Lucky bastards.
Yeah. It's cool. I've been talking to him. I can't. I'm excited for him. It's great.
Yeah. I mean, I would have loved to have gone ourselves, but it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
It isn't something that we can go to right now. But I'm really hoping because I am 100% committed to going to MomoCon in May and getting that UG signed by the voice actor. I am committed to that. And I'm hoping they do some tournaments because I mean it doesn't make sense to have an anime convention with anime voice actors and there's a hot anime card game and you don't do something.
Yeah.
Like I don't know all the logistics to, reaching out to Bandai, but it just makes sense that the first year out you would be going to every convention and pushing this game super hard with all your product and promo product at that.
It fits so well into the convention scene as well. Like,
yeah,
it's kind of
like I mean, yes, your personally enclosed events that you have are great because that's when you do really go ham with all your stuff. But it's got to be more than just your events because you can't just walk up and buy tickets to this. You have to basically RSVP months in advance.
Yeah.
To go to these things.
It's not easy to get tickets either.
No. Like every day that I heard that the events were opened up, they were sold out within like 3 to 4 hours.
Yeah. The guys were one of the guys Zach was talking about, he was just surprised they actually were able to get in, and he was like, he didn't think they were going to be able to get in on one of the events that was happening for Union Arena, and they got an email that they were actually they were accepted into it, so they were stoked about it. I think can't remember what all they said they were playing, but that's neither here nor there. They're it's just there's not a whole lot of opportunity to play out there. I guess they're expecting a huge turnout, and they've got what different IP games that they're pushing this year, or is it 6? Are they doing anything for Gundam? I know Gundam just.
Yes. Let's see events. So this should be all the events right here. So they got Battle Spirit Saga. I still enjoy that game, at least the first iteration of it. I don't know how well this is doing right now because I go to several card shops now to look for stuff, and this is not on their shelves at all. So I don't know how it's getting sold. But you got Union Arena, Union, Gundam, Dragon Ball, which I was told that this was basically a dead card game, but whatever. Dragon Ball. So they got tons of Union Arena stuff. One thing for Gundam. Some Dragon Ball, Digimon, Battle Spirits, One Piece.
It looks like that one thing for Gundam is like a trial event.
I mean, Gundam. When did Gundam come out?
It's not out yet. It's still. We just got the first set like card lists last week.
2. No, because this is confusing to me. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things for One Piece. Because it looked like there was more stuff for Union than One Piece, which is surprising. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No. But I mean, Union Arena having the exact same number of events as One Piece, I think is pretty impressive.
Okay.
I think Dragon Ball was only having 4 events. Yeah, 4 events. Then Digimon's only having 2. Battle Spirits has actually got quite a bit over multiple days. It looks like their projected main draw is One Piece, Digimon, Battle Spirits, and Union Arena. Just based off of how many events they're choosing to hold.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball is just slightly behind. I mean, honestly, it's pretty spread out when I'm looking at it now and adding everything up. The only one that's really getting a little bit more snubbed is the Gundam card game.
Yeah, like I said, I think it says early trial event right there. Anyways.
Yeah, early trial event, so it's not even out yet.
Yeah.
It's disappointing because that game looks really kind of fun.
It looks fiddly widdly, and I want to take part in it, but
yeah, like
I
can see
Union Arena sets that I want to get first.
Right.
I'm out a little bit later.
It might be Gundam's that game you play in between the Union Arena games.
It looks like it might be the other way around because those Gundam games they might take an hour long sometimes.
Yeah, have you seen how you play the Gundam game and how weird it is?
Yeah.
I like it though.
Yeah, looks fun.
Yeah, like the shields for your life and being able to use a pilot for a Gundam kind of looks cool. Yeah. So it's interesting. I don't know if it's as interesting as, Union Arena, because I mean, it is just a single anime, but you give me like G Gundam in that card game and I'm going ham. I'm shining. Sure I'm fingering everybody.
I'm pretty sure he's in. Wait, no, you said G Gundam.
G Gundam, no. Yeah.
I think he's in the first set.
Domon and God Gundam.
I don't remember what I saw in the first set. I'll have to take a look at it again, but it looks fantastic though. I'm excited.
Yeah, I want to look into Battle Spirits a little bit more because I want to see if it's as broken as its first iteration.
How long has that been
Like,
around?
at like, well, the first, so there's actually an anime of this too. Um, I want to say it's been around at least since 2011, the first iteration, and then it left over here because the company that had it was the same company that had the first Bleach card game, uh, Panini, and they went under.
I didn't even know about the first Bleach card game.
Yeah, I ain't got them on me right now, but I can show you some of the Bleach card bosses. That game actually played really interesting. It played a little bit like Commander, where you used squad captains or a squad commander, and like you could only build your deck if they were in the 13 court guards or if they were part of the affinity. So like if you had squad 11 or your captain was Kenpachi, you could only build a deck from characters of Kenpachi or squad 11. And
That's
your
cool.
life total was like you had no set life total. You had no set life total, no set hand total. It was all based on what your commander said. So if you wanted more life, you had Kenpachi, which had 37, but you could only start the game with like 5 cards in hand, and each turn you could draw up to 5 cards. And that's what your max hand size, like you drew up to your max hand size.
The old-fashioned way I played Yu-Gi-Oh! I like it. Play everything in your handy cans because you draw a fresh hand the next turn.
Yeah, I wish I had more than just the character cards, but I randomly got rid of them. Something like moves, you lose stuff. But yeah, like some of the stuff was really cool. The boxes were cheap as dirt too. Like I don't think they were more than $40-50 for a box.
Okay.
Super fun to play. Me and a buddy got me really into it. It was never any, like, the problem is that Panini was just so small they couldn't afford to do any real tournament play. So it went under. It went under fast. Message boards weren't great. Battle spirits, like the resources thing was just broken in battle spirits because you use gems to summon creatures, but you also had gems as your life total, and as you got attacked, your life total would go to your energy total.
Oh, I remember somebody you tell me about this. Yeah,
dude. I
just got a headache.
Yeah, like so like it would get very broken because purple was the most broken color in that game, because what purple liked to do would be tapping down your opponent's creatures. So what you would do is you would let your opponent go aggro on you while you built your board. And so you would get down to 1 gem, 1 life. And I forget how many you started with. I think it was 4 or 5, and then you'd end up having 9. And then you'd spin gems, and that's however many monsters you could summon. So there was this dragon that ETB'd that said, tap your opponent's field. So you would just spend your turn playing low-level purple guy, low-level purple guy, low-level purple guy. Let me get attacked to get to the energy I needed to play the 1 dragon guy. Play the dragon guy, swing out. And in this game, you had to do the extra damage to kill them. So once you took all their shields, you needed to do that 1 more attack. And the way that it got set up is you had just enough to do that 1 extra attack. and it was just broke.
Yeah.
And it, it wouldn't have been so bad if it wasn't so consistent on top of it.
Mhm.
And I played that deck. I love that deck. Like, I was like, man, this is so freaking broken.
Yeah.
But it was super fun. But I think it was just because everybody wanted to play other things. And I was just like, I'm just gonna play the purple and wreck you.
I got this thing.
Oh man. But does that have everything?
I think so. Oh, I don't think we actually talked about this guy.
No, we did not go over the controversy of the JJK release, then the Lelouch release right behind it.
Yeah. Ugh. So we're kind of feeling the pain on this one still because I mean, Togios just came out.
Yeah.
And we still got rare battles. Luckily, the one that we're going to go to in our area, it's not until like early January, so we've got time to finish up those decks. But this, do you want to play the clip, or you want to just talk about it?
Oh, we can play the clip because I'm not really caught up on what, like, I can see that where people are getting mad about it because I mean, to like, even though I was talking some mad smack about Code Geass, I can see the where there's, like, you have a brand new anime in JJK that's got a lot of hype, and then you have a old head in Code Geass that has the hype as well, and you're splitting people that they want to buy both, but realistically, you can't spend money on both of them, and with Christmas being so close, it's not a feasible thing to have like two hype products come out at the same, like, basically on top of each other.
Yeah.
So I mean, I can see it. I just don't know, like, what's fully going on.
Those are great. That's a fun way to play.
Yeah. So I mean, this kind of goes back to what we were saying, like, all the way back at episode 1 of this, is that this really harkens back to how Magic does their releases now, to where they have so much product coming out at one time. And I mean, it's easy to say that not everything's for everyone, right?
Yeah.
But I think, like, so I'll give it to Magic. You can skip out on Magic because you can pick and choose, because there's products that they're coming out that you can look at it and, like, okay, Well, that's just an entire reprint set, pretty much. Let me get the cards that I want the new art for, and I don't have to buy the entire set. Not the case with Union Arena, where it's kind of like, well, there's because they keep the set so isolated, you can't just buy the card that you want from the set. If you want to play a Lelouch deck or a JJK deck, you have to either buy the packs, buy a box, or buy an entire set of the singles, right?
Yeah.
So I feel this was inevitably going to happen. So I feel this is a valid criticism of Bandai and how the game is being handled, but at the same time, we got to think that they're doing the same thing in Japan. Like, the sets are coming out month after month, and it seems like they are also just ramping up, and like, we're getting all these sets so fast. I mean, I think we're going to have a worse one when in May, when 3 sets drop at once. I mean, we already looked at it. I already see there being a repeat of what's going to happen with Bleach Volume 2, Black Clover, and Sword Art Online. Again, 3 at, I'll say it. 3 extremely popular animes. Even though Black Clover doesn't get talked about hardly anymore. But I mean, you still have Sword Art Online with they just started doing Gun Gale season 2. And then you got Bleach, which is always going to be on the tip of everybody's tongue.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I can. There's going to be sets that are going to suffer in the sales department.
And it was more than that, too, though. Because, I mean, yeah, you had release events. You could get 5 packs from that. You could try to participate in a bunch of those. A lot of the stores in our area, and what I was seeing online was that, like, stores weren't getting the allocation that they were expecting.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Our local store, they had 4 boxes for sale after their release event, and they weren't sure they were going to have anything for sale. I got a hold of one of them, but they sold out right after I got my 1 box. But I'm still looking for. I think I want to get 4 more boxes, and that's going to be difficult to get a hold of. I mean, it's and that's hoping to get them before 1st of January when our rare battle is. I can see the people that had the release events and the rare battles the same weekend just really not being able to play. I mean, you probably had a lot of people that entered in these events, if they entered in the events, with a half-built deck. And it may have done better than something else that was playing at the same time. Which, I mean, that does sound like a really cool meta to be in. Who has the most complete deck in a sea of incompletes and can play the deck the best, but it's not what most people are wanting to get a hold of. And I think that's where this guy's coming at. Coming from.
Like, I see there being so it's not a lot of money to get into this game. It's not even a lot of money to have a complete deck.
Yeah.
But in reality, like, money does play a really big part in if your deck is good. Because, like, to this day, and I was talking about this earlier because, and I've talked about it before, I'm still looking to complete the entire Hunter x Hunter, like that entire block of this. And really the only card that's holding me back is those Karapikas. Because out of the entire set, they're not super expensive, but it's like, do I really want to drop $30-$40 on 3 cards when 30 or 40 bucks gets me the entirety of blue?
Yeah.
It just doesn't feel good to spend that much money on something like that, right?
Right.
And it's like, am I going to do it? Yeah. And I probably need to do it before volume 2 gets announced, because I, you know how people are. They don't look into things, and in their minds, they're going to be like, oh, well, my favorite deck from this set, which was green, is going to get a bunch of positivity or a bunch of boost in this one. And I base that on absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to hoard or buy more Cropicus. And it just, it's frustrating, but I mean, that's just being in card games. That's how some people are. They won't look into things. And what's it called? It's oh my God, it's where you know enough just to be dangerous to yourself.
Oh, there's
I forget what it's
the
called.
Dunning-Kruger effect.
There we go. Yes, Dunning-Kruger. Exactly.
I was actually trying to remember that earlier today because it came up at work. Yeah. Like, oh,
Funny how often that comes up too.
Yeah, it's like, y'all think I'm smart? I'm good at all this computer stuff. I am very aware of the Dunning-Kruger effect when it comes to me, and I am wholly lacking in a lot of things that you don't even know exists when it comes to computers.
Then it doesn't affect you, or it doesn't pertain to you, because the Dunning-Kruger effect is that it's somebody that knows and believes, like they know enough to, like, you know, so it's like when you hear the starting gun go,
Yes.
you know enough to kick off, but when you start to come up to that turn in the track, you're like, what do I do?
Yeah, you know enough to be dangerous, but you don't know enough to actually know what you're doing.
Complete the task at hand.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm on the other side of that. What I was alluding to is I'm on the other side of that Dunning-Kruger. Everybody's like, "Oh yeah, you know so much." I really don't know jack. Like, but there's so much that I'm missing. If I knew,
they're not aware that they don't know how to finish the project is the thing too.
Yeah, and I'm completely aware. Like, man, if we could just do a little bit of programming in this department, we could get so much done so much easier.
It's like, I know this needs to be done, but I don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and for a long time, like, it's okay not to know things.
Yeah.
Just don't hinder other people by your not knowing things. Yeah. That's what frustrates me.
It's a help. Know that you don't know things.
Yes, know that you don't know, and know that it's okay to ask for help.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's where it comes with card games. It's like people are so led by their emotions of what they like, and this is going to be worse in this game because I've talked about this before with this. Anime fandoms are horrible.
Yeah.
It's not about reality of how good a writer, like, I can't convince a diehard, like, so, I was talking about how Kubo really needs to just step back from writing a Bleach and just do the art.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a good writer. I think, like, I think people look way too deep for saying that, oh, he set this up way back in this chapter or way back in this season of the show. And I'm like, dude, you really are reaching. I really think he read the internet or was told by his editor that, hey, there's a really cool fan theory out there about this. Do you have any plans to make, like, is this where this is going? And I really feel he was like, no, but I like that idea, so I'm going to incorporate it. And I've said this about Spielberg and Star Wars, or no, Lucas. And now my credibility is all gone because I screwed up my directors.
God dang it, man. What the hell?
I am fucked. So anything I say from here on out is just fucked.
All right, end the stream. Hit the button. Where we get?
Where's that? Boink. Anyways, so Lucas, I don't know how much you know about Star Wars and the extended universe. Lucas didn't create the extended universe of Star Wars.
Hmm.
He literally everything about the extended universe was fan theory or fan theory, fan written. I forget the damn thing for it. Fan crafted. And he didn't really have an idea for it, or his ideas for it weren't as good as where the fans were going with it. So he just one day decided that, okay, the extended universe, canon. This is Star Wars canon now. And everybody loves him for it. They're like, and honestly, where Star Wars is right now, people gripe more that the extended universe was erased by Disney more than
I didn't know about that.
are complaining about the new stuff. Yeah. Like, but the thing is Disney is taking stuff from the extended universe and peppering it in, or just straight up plagiarizing extended universe.
Recanonizing it.
Yeah. They're repurposing it, and it really pisses people off. And that's a slap in the, like, granted, I'm not super into the Star Wars fandom and stuff, but when I, like, as an outsider, that's how I see why people are mad at Disney. And the thing is it's like they go and they kind of put their own twist on it, or they put a political take in it, in something that was already canon in the heads of the Star Wars fandom, because Lucas said it was. And we all know that the creator, and I'm like, Lucas was a part of Star Wars. He wasn't the full creator of it. Again, I'm gonna get fucking butchered online if anybody ever actually finds this stream. But yeah. In any case, same thing with I don't even remember where I was going with this. I went on a tangent. It was something about fans and with this game.
Fans,
that's what it was. It was that things are going to stay the price that they are, and people's headcanon of what is actually good is going to stay good in their head regardless, but that's because of fandom, not because of actual, metadata.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh. Anyways. Was this guy going any further with that, or
that was about it. It was mostly just the bringing to light that it was really bad timing. Like, who actually had time to build the deck they wanted to bring to rare battles, and hopefully there's another round of them soon that those people can participate in. I think there was also a little bit of drama. I'm not sure if you talked about it in that video, but I read something about there's some stores that were selling the promos that you're supposed to get from these rare battles on like TCG Player and whatnot. When people that usually go to those stores say, no, we couldn't fire this this event. Like, is this stuff supposed to be on there? I don't know how that's handled in Bandai. It seems crappy. I know we had a similar situation locally with a card shop. I'm not going to go too deep on that one, but it
actually cool information that I got when I was selling some stuff this past week. 1UP will not take anything promo or anything that they were supposed to get as a promo from like the official source. They're like, yeah, we don't resell things that we were supposed to give out for free.
That's respectable.
Yeah. Like, there was some stuff that I had that I knew went for a decent price, but they were like, yeah, like, it's store policy that we don't do that.
Yeah. That's respectable.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be too hard to find like a private buyer for that kind of stuff, as long as you know somebody. But like, I like knowing that we frequent a shop that's not going to do that kind of thing.
Oh yeah. And like, when I told him what I was looking to do, getting into the reseller stuff, like the guy was as helpful as he could be, because it's like, well, I can buy the stuff and I can tell you the prices on it, but I can't tell you what's going to possibly move in the future. That's kind of out of his wheelhouse. And I get it. I mean, you know, it's ups and downs, and you can never guarantee anything. But there was a lot of really good information that I got from that. Like basically I have a plan to use Japanese Pokemon cards as trade fodder. Because apparently Japanese Pokemon cards in America sell very cheaply and not for the price that the Americans ones do.
I feel like it used to be the exact opposite. I remember there being like a bit of a chasteness to Japanese cards. This was 20 years ago though. Longer than that though.
Well, it does depend on, so granted, a lot of information. So it does depend on like how well the set does in Japan, you know? And we like, so Japan's mentality of cardboard is very different from us. So you know, like how we have kind of meted selling cardboard over here, like you know, MTG marketplaces and stuff like that, treating them like stocks and bonds, basically. The Japanese audience for TCGs doesn't do that, apparently. Like they sell the stuff, but it's not as widely done to the extent that it is here. So their prices are just super cheap on cards. And so it's like, you know, you see more of it. And you know, you got to think too that even though that you could have the same art and everything, and an American TCG player is going to want an American card. And then plus when they bring it over here, they could actually hold certain cards back, or the product might not sell as well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it is very different. Like so the new Pokemon set that's about to come out is what was it called? A Terrestrial Festival, I think it is. It comes out in January, and it's gonna have like, it's a big EV set, and Pokemon's been doing these kind of almost like what Union Arena does now, or Union Arena does with art illustrations for Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
So you're getting like you're getting these like super rare cards, but they're like two to a box. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it makes them very rare. And there's even a really cool one because I don't know how long they've been doing this, but I know I read an article last week that the mangaka of Fist of the North Star actually did an art on one of the Pokemon cards in this new set. So I don't know how well you know Fist of the North Star, but Fist of the North Star is like the OG shonen anime. Like if you ask any old head anime watcher, like from the 80s, that started watching anime in the 80s, like Fist of the North Star was their shit.
Yeah.
It's like super violent, super gory, post-apocalyptica. I mean the first episode. So the first episode has this dude named Ken Kenichiro, and he has I believe his martial arts was called Fist of the Seven Stars, I think was the name of his martial arts. And so he gets a guy, like does like pressure points to him, wraps a whip around the dude's head, and so forces the dude to pull the whip on both ends and pull until his head pops off.
Jeez.
And then there's another dude Like he just like it's like super I swear he got the yell from Bruce Lee where it's like shit like that, right?
Yeah.
And he does the pressure points in this dude's head and it's like nothing happens. And dude's like, I'm gonna kill you. And then Ken just turns around and he's like, you're already dead. And then dude head just explodes.
Oh, gross. Sounds fantastic.
It's totally 80s. It's a lot. Like, I don't know how many, like, how you get somebody like that to do a special art illustration for Pokemon, and it's the dolphin Pokemon on top of that.
Oh, Palapin?
Yeah. And it's just like the multiple fist as the art.
Heck yeah.
Actually, let me pull this up. That like I feel this needs to be shown because the art looks really cool. How do you spell this?
Palapin?
It's the second one. What's his name?
It's not that guy down there.
Here it is. Let me see if I can get a good one of this. I guess that's gonna be the best one. That's from TCG Player. That'll work.
Jeez. Oh, it's kind of mesmerizing.
But yeah,
I can get down with that.
yeah. I mean, it looks great, but I'm really thinking so. Near mint Japanese $16. You know,
yeah.
I'm half tempted to pick it up just to have it in a personal collection, just because I think it's funny, huh?
That's a good story.
Yeah, like I know Pokemon is mainly like its audience is kids, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know if this goes up in price because I don't know who cares about, and I say this unfortunately disrespectfully because I don't know how to put respect on what I'm about to be saying, even though I fully respect the artist or the mangaka who did Fist of the North Star. But I just don't know who cares about Fist of the North Star in 2020. Well, it'll be 2025 when this comes out. And in Pokemon of all things.
Yeah. Well,
like I see Japan caring about this a little more than an English or even an international release of this.
It'd have to be somebody lost in the sauce like you are on this one.
Oh yeah. Like I don't even know how the story came across my browser feed, but I seen it completely was like, yeah, that's freaking awesome. I love that. It's the same for the artist of the first Charizard card doing an art illustration in Magic in Bloomborough. He did the bear.
Cool. I didn't know that. I didn't really get into, or I haven't really checked in on Bloomborough really, but that is interesting.
Bloomborough was a fun set. Like I wanted to get more for it. But the only thing that I want from it now is the one that he did, and I think that card's like up to $40 now, and I really need to get it before it goes up any higher because I like that one. I think goes up because like freaking late 90s 2000s, the first base set Pokemon set, dude, not a single freaking person that was collecting that game back then doesn't have some nostalgic feeling for Charizard, regardless of if you ever got one.
Yeah.
So, I mean, to hear that, and then it kind of collides with the biggest TCG in the world, and as much as Magic annoys me, it like I can't deny its impact and the fact of what people have for it.
Even if it's a shell of what it used to be, it's still
Yeah.
a giant.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, a lot of people. It's so funny how many cards are out there, and people like, well, I don't get any of the new Wizard product. I use all my old stuff, and I get with friends and I play. You know, I mean, how many different ways to play Magic are out there, and that's because like it's not living because of what Wizards is doing, it's living because of the fans and the amount of energy they put into that game.
Well, that makes sense.
But yeah, like I love stuff like this. Like I love seeing it, and it makes me very curious because there's also some other art rares coming out of this set from other well, notable Japanese mangakas, but none that I've seen their works. But yeah, Pokemon's gotten really interesting, and I normally I would say stuff like this is a, you know, oh, your game's dying, you're trying to get people into it. I can't say that with Pokemon. I think Pokemon is at this point such a force that it succeeds.
They're doing victory laps. That's all. That's all this is. This is we've already won. It's freaking ego again. I've already won.
Right? I mean,
I'll just do a victory lap. Go in, Bono. Kick the shit out of it.
Pokemon, as a franchise, it is the world's #1 top selling franchise, and it's not even fucking close.
The closest is what, Hello Kitty, and but where is
I
that?
don't know. It's Hello Kitty. Oh my god, what was it? Hang on, I'll find it.
I thought the last one I saw it was Pokemon, then Sayako, Hello Kitty, and Disney stuff was a distant third. But I mean, the Hello Kitty was effectively a distant second.
Okay, I got the wiki up.
It is okay. So it is Mickey Mouse.
Oh, so okay, so Disney still has that. But I mean, look at the gap, man. 98.9 billion. I don't even know what year they're taking this from, but it doesn't even fucking matter. To 61, a $30 billion gap.
That's wild.
How?
Scroll on down a little bit.
Like, started in 96, outpaced the mouse that's been around for what's 100 years? Not a millennia.
A century.
A
millennia. That's 1,000, Matt.
Like, I don't think it stops. I don't think the designs matter to Pokemon. You know, I mean, I had to stop championing Gen 1. I mean, still love Gen 1. Got me into it. But, you know, there was that like, oh, Pokemon designs suck now. They made an ice cream. Look at Gen 1. Cool.
Yeah.
You have Starfish. You have a bull.
There's a sludge.
Birds. Like, so many birds.
Yeah. You know, the other day I was wondering, like, I'm a Pokemon stan. I don't really do the cards too much anymore, but like really enjoyed them. And I pretty much get every new generation game when it comes out.
Oh yeah, they're fun.
But like I was wondering, like, what is there a point that like they go that I don't go for the games anymore? Like, I don't know that I've really super enjoyed the games like I used to, but I still like picking them up and playing through them just because it's another one to play through.
I think the series that more appeals to, you know, older people like me and you now, something that's actually really interesting and new, is the Legends series that they're starting. Because they had Legends Arceus. That was super fun.
Oh god, yeah, it was.
And then they got Legends ZX, whatever the new Legends game is. Like, I just seen a trailer for it the other day, and it looks super fun. Like, it's doing a lot, and a lot of what I've been wanting to see in Pokemon for a long time, and I don't know if the main series competes with that, to be honest with you.
Like I
But
like battles. I like going through the world. I want to be better at the battles than what I am at this point. At the same
yeah,
time, there's such a gap between where I'm at and where I want to be.
oh
It's
that
I'm okay.
that
That's
that
the amount of
competitive
time that I'm
scene
good.
is rough.
God. It looks fun. Participating in it is fun,
Yeah, I,
but I can only take getting shellacked so many times, knowing that like there's just an amount of experience that I don't have. It's fun to watch.
yeah,
I
you.
really like watching the really good players go against each other.
Oh
That's
yeah.
some top tier content.
Oh,
But
there is content, unless I've buried it on my other channel, to where I tried to be that Pokemon guy battler
I
at
want to
one
be
point.
the very best, like no
Like no
one
one
ever
ever
was.
was. To catch them is my real test. To train them is my cause.
Heck yeah, that's a good short. Let's go.
Oh man. And the wife looks at me like, you fucking son of a bitch.
Mine's asleep.
But yeah, like these franchises, man, like once you get past the mouse, there is nothing close to Pokemon. The fact Barbie's up here is actually surprising to me.
There's Hello Kitty.
Barbie beats Marvel.
Well, yeah. Well, Barbie's
87?
well,
Oh
it's Marvel
wow.
Cinematic Universe, though.
Well, I mean, it's the dolls, man. Like they that
Yeah.
like the accessory, like what is it? It's kind of like consoles and stuff. They don't make money off the actual console. They don't make money off of the actual doll Barbie. You know what they
Yeah.
make the money on? Selling the accessories separate.
First loot boxes.
It's DLC before DLC was called DLC.
God.
Oh my god, I just realized that hurts. The
Keep
toy
in mind,
market is
it always
gross
comes in a
now.
different box.
It right. Still impressive though. Like the MCU. Barbie's made more than that. That's impressive. Ooh, Harry
Yeah.
Potter.
Let's see that. I wonder why Hello Kitty's so far down. I could have swore I saw one where they were right. They were the very next one.
29.3 billion. It's
Still a
probably the
lot.
most well-known mascot. Like I couldn't think of I can't think of anything outside of Hello Kitty that is just it's recognizable. Like you could take this anywhere and people are going to know what it is.
It's pretty much Hello Kitty, Pikachu, Mickey Mouse. What else?
So Spider-Man,
Superman
Transformers,
well known.
Dungeon Fighter. Oh wow. How is no wonder that keeps getting new iterations. Wow. That is literally just a install game, plays itself. Buy it, like I don't even know if you call this a gacha game. I've downloaded it. Graphics are real pretty.
Okay.
Didn't spend a dime on it. Cars, I get that. Candy Crush, Jesus Christ. That outpaced Looney Tunes. That hurts. Ooh.
Looney Tunes has been on a downturn for a while.
Fact Turtles is up here, fills my heart with joy.
There's a lot of men our age that fondly remember Turtles.
Oh, dude, it is the indie comic of indie comics. Dora.
Well, we have anything else to go over? Okay.
No, I'm just kind of flubbing now.
All right.
I'm going down a rabbit hole.
We're good at that.
Oh, stuff gets fun.
Yeah.
But I guess that does it for us for Now.
Slow face drifting back and forth.
Duh, 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 duh.
I don't know why it's been doing that for what 2-3 hours now.
I don't know. I wonder if it's the blurring of the background is slowing down the processing power of your PC.
You know, it might be something to do with it
Because I feel when you didn't have it, you were going faster.
maybe.
But
We'll know for next time.
yeah,
I'm probably want to move my PC again, anyways. I'm not sure the bedroom's the best place for it.
yeah, I think once I get my living room put together, this is all moving out that way.
Yeah.
Which is going to be super fun to have to set up in a way that nobody gets in the camera.
Yeah.
Kind of like having my wall here. Anyways, yes, now we're just rambling. We're going to end the stream now.
All right.
I think that should be okay with all peoples.
Hope everybody has a good night. Stay safe. Stay hydrated. Get wrecked.
Good night. Happy holidays.
Happy
Definitely hit that thumbs
holidays.
up on the way out.
Yeah, if you made it here.
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
And we should be back sooner than later. That's for sure. Bye, people.